Hey guys, so I know it's been a minute, but I had a request, well, several requests actually, to maybe do a video sharing some of my thoughts about the journey, just some insights, a few insights. So I have a list of 10 different things that I thought about or thought might be worth sharing. Some of it I'm sure you've heard before, but maybe something in this list will be new that could help you out on prep and planning and completing your journey from Georgia to Maine, Maine to Georgia, and everywhere and anywhere in between. So, all right, first one, it's hard. And I know this sounds like a no-brainer, but what's difficult about the journey is the mental challenge. The mental challenge far exceeds the physical. Obviously, if you have an injury, like a serious injury or an illness that takes you off trail, that's a completely different matter. But being successful on the trail means being able to deal with the mental challenges that you are going to face daily. Big challenges, small challenges, but really it all boils down to a mental game. In that same vein, number 2, take breaks. If you have the means to take frequent zeros, do it. I highly recommend allowing yourself, both physically and mentally, the opportunity to rest and to recharge. Staying in a hostel, especially staying in a hostel with other hikers, you have the opportunity to sit and talk about all the feels, what's been going on that's good, what's bad, what you hate, what you love, and it helps to realize that you are not the only one floating along and feeling miserable, that everybody is probably feeling the same way you are. And that's just a real boost for morale. And if you have a tighter budget, then look for work for stay. I would say that at least half of the hostels that I stayed at had hikers doing work for stay, and many of the hostels had signs up when you got there saying they were looking for work for stay. So look for work for stay, and even if there isn't a sign, ask. Most hostel owners are not in it for the Benjamins. They're running hostels because they truly want to see hikers be successful. So don't hesitate to ask if there's any way that you could help to either get a free stay, offset the cost of your stay. All right, number 3, be willing to go rogue. And what I mean by that is be willing to change your plans on the fly if the need or opportunity arises. Don't beat yourself up if you are having a bad day, and don't feel like you have to continue the mileage or the destination that you set at the beginning of the day or the night before when you were talking with your trail family. I had a day that I was having a really bad day. I kept falling and falling and falling, and I thought I need to just stop, because if I don't stop now and just snuggle down in my sleeping bag and eat some food and relax, I'm gonna be even more miserable, and this is not healthy for my journey at all. So this is an opportunity where a hike your own hike thing comes into play. Just be willing to do what you need to do, and don't be so strictly attached to a schedule where you can't allow yourself that leniency. It's really important for your mental health to allow yourself that it's okay that you don't accomplish what you thought you were going to accomplish that day, and that you will pick up those miles the next day. It's okay, you will get there, and allow yourself that grace. And your trail family will understand. If you need to cut it short, they'll still be there. You always end up catching up with people. That would be a hike your own hike kind of situation. But make sure you let your trail family know if you're not gonna be there where they're expecting you, because then they'll worry. All right, number 4. Be kind to yourself, and don't compare your journey to anyone else's journey. Everybody has different capabilities, different desires from their journey, and don't try to mesh yours with somebody else's or think that your journey is less because it isn't what other people are doing. Just be good to yourself and don't compare yourself to others. All right, number 5, dry clothes. Always, always, always have a set of clothes in a dry sack that will be in your pack at the end of a day. There is nothing better than slogging through a rainy, sloppy day where you're cold and miserable and wet, and you know that in your pack you have dry clothes and a dry, warm sleeping bag to crawl into that will keep you moving, that'll keep you from just losing it. Just also know that there are going to be days when you are going to wake up and you are going to be nice and warm and toasty inside your sleeping bag, and you know that your clothes are wet that you have to put on, and you're going to have to put on those wet clothes. Don't be tempted to hike out in your warm, dry, sleepy clothes unless you are walking to a hostel or a place where you are going to be able to get some loaner clothes, get some dry clothes. Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep your dry clothes sacred. Putting on wet clothes in the morning when you don't want to, that's part of that mental challenge. You will warm up. Once you get moving, you will warm up. So being able to tell yourself to suck it up, put on the cold clothes, and get going is huge. And you will do that frequently on the AT, because the AT is a very wet trail. Even if it's not raining, it's humid and things don't dry. Things do not dry. And oftentimes you cannot find a sunny spot. You think, oh, at the end of the day, I'll hang my clothes in a sunny spot and they'll dry out. Not when you're in the woods. There aren't a lot of sunny spots where you are tenting or camping. So anyway, that was just my experience. You might not have that, but that was me. All right. Oh, I need my glasses. All right, number 6. On a rainy day or a cold day or a day when you are just not feeling it, stop at lunchtime and cook a hot lunch for yourself. Not all the time, but just every once in a while. It's a huge morale booster. Ramen was my favorite Happy Meal. And there were several times when I stopped at lunchtime and I thought, I am cold, I'm tired, I'm gonna sit here for a while and I'm gonna cook some ramen. And that is a really nice boost for your spirit. Okay, along the same lines, number 7 is food. Eat all the food. Food. It becomes about the food at a certain point. And one of the best things for me that I enjoyed was packing out food from a town, whether it was a sub or fruit or a breakfast biscuit or some slices of pizza. Pack out food, pack out real food. A lot of fresh vegetables will survive surprisingly long in a pack. One of our trail family tech support, he would carry out broccoli. From almost every town, he would have broccoli. So spinach is another good one, especially if you start earlier when it's colder out. Things like that will last quite a while, actually. So, but pack out fresh food, that does wonders. All right, number 8. Shop the hiker boxes at hostels before you go to a store to resupply. Oftentimes there will be loads, like all the time, there will be loads of things in the hiker box, like ramen, Little Debbie, Cliff Bars, Carnation Instant, you name it, it'll be in those hiker boxes. Sometimes people send resupply boxes to themselves and they get those boxes, they open them up, and half the stuff they don't want. And so they dump it in the hiker box. Or they say, hey, I have all this stuff, come and see what you want. So shop that first. This is really helpful if you were hiking on a budget. I would take a few things from hiker boxes, but not a ton. And then I would always end up dumping things back into hiker boxes. So that's a really good option. Just check out the hiker boxes before you go do your grocery shopping. So number 9, slack pack. I highly recommend slack packing. It is a nice rest for your body. You still are getting some miles, but you are not covering those miles with the weight on your back. So it's nice. Plus, when you slack pack, you tend to have started at a hostel. They are providing the slack for you, so you'll be going back to that hostel that night. So it's 2 nights in a bed inside, which adds to the restorative value of a slack pack. All right, and the last one, number 10, and obviously I have edited and I'm refilming this last one. Don't overthink it. Like, obviously I just did overthink, like with re-editing this little bit. But anyway, Don't overthink it. Know your gear. Make sure you've gone out and done some shakedown hikes. You've done hopefully a multi-night at least with your gear prior to setting out on this journey. But a lot of the logistical questions that I see people posting regarding resupply and how do I get through the weights and how am I gonna get into a town, these things will work out. I know they say the trail provides, and it really does. There are people all up and down that trail that want nothing more than to see thru hikers be successful in their journeys. And the things that right now may be causing you concern or worries, you'll figure them out as you go. Your fellow thru hikers are going to be your best resource. You will come to rely on the people that you meet more than you can know. And at the end of the day, the end of your journey, you will look back and realize that so many of those early concerns and worries were for naught. But honestly, it's easy for me to sit here and say that because I already experienced it, went through those, and you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out for yourself. But again, this kind of ties back to be kind to yourselves. You can even start by being kind by trying not to worry too much. Anyway, I hope that this was helpful and that maybe there was like a small little bit of information that was new to you and will help you in preparing and completing your journey. So anyway, thanks guys.